Okay, so I think we will now move forward. All right, so as a continuation, again, heritage tourism, or part of the social benefits of heritage tourism is it develops local cultural identity. Tsaka minsan guys, no, parang ano siya, parang nababalidate natin yung pakiramdam din ng mga indigenous communities, even the host community of a particular place when we patronize them, when we patronize also the products and services that they're offering. It's as if telling them that we love your products, we love your services, and keep doing it. No? So when you get to the destinations that you will be going by your tour or with your tour, no, make sure class that you patronize their products. No, you patronize them. You try to compliment them, especially they're about their culture. No, as for my subject and heritage tourism, I'm expecting nothing but appreciation to the culture that you will be encountering. No, there will be no
Ano
acculturation
pa hinahanap mo?
that will happen, no? There will be no acculturation because when you say acculturation in class, it's acquisition of culture, and you will not be acquiring the culture. You will just be introduced to a culture, and then you know, you get to bring the lessons of that culture. You get to understand. You get yourselves familiarized with what the culture is all about, how they participate in the culture, and how important their culture is to them. Okay. So at this point, we'll move forward to number 4. Number 4 talks about links to place a sense of belonging. No, sabi dito, part of the reason why or the importance of heritage tourism is the fact that there is what we call the sense of belonging. That people want to feel that they belong. It's a human nature to want to understand their history and place in society. Heritage tourism allows people from certain regions or community to explore their shared history and identity through a tangible location. And this is true. No, totoo naman yun class, 'di ba? Na parang ang mga tao, tayong mga tao, it's part daw of our human nature that we are very curious of our history. We are very curious of where we came from, and that is the reason why we continuously look and explore and dig deeper in our history so that it answers our curiosity. No, or we can answer our curiosity. And sense of belonging in the sense na again, when you get to when you know already na you're part of this family, when you're part of this community, no, parang feeling mo you have this sense of belonging, that you are part of something bigger than what you think of. And then it of course it boosts your confidence, it boosts your self-esteem, and it gives you an identity, no? So part also of number 3, it has something to do with number 4, that part of acquiring cultural identity is also acquiring what we call a sense of belongingness. Number 5, learning from the past enhances cultural diversity. Worldwide, society is becoming increasingly homogeneous. People are moving more frequently, and more people are living in urban areas than ever before. This has led to a loss of traditional identity and customs in places where people move around a lot or simply come from elsewhere. Heritage tourism provides residents with a way to stay rooted in their own culture, whether it be religious practices, folklore, or food preparation. It also allows visitors to experience these cultural differences firsthand. The result is a greater appreciation for diversity and an understanding that there's more than one way to live life. Diba? Correct. This is 100% correct. That part of the reason or benefits of heritage tourism is because we have a lot of people traveling, no? Di ba sabi dito, heritage tourism provides residents with a way to stay rooted on their own culture. Dahil nga yung mga host community class or yung host community, they are exposed now to the different people, to different cultures, because these different people comes from different places as well, no? Yung mga tao doon, class, they are thrilled, no? They are very persevered to stay rooted to where they came from, to stay rooted to their own culture. And yung mga visitors naman, 'di ba, parang they value also the cultural differences na nakikita nila sa isang lugar. So, learning from the past enhances cultural diversity. When I get to know what happened in the past, I get to respect them. And part of the effect siguro noon is I'll try to be more appreciative with their culture, and yung mga kulturang gusto ko baka nga maiuwi ko pa at baka gagawin ko pa, no? Okay. So let's move forward to number 6, preservation and protection of heritage sites, heritage assets, and national treasures. Through tourism, historic sites and landmarks can be preserved and protected. If a historical site is no longer economically viable through other means, tourism can offer a sustainable solution to ensure that important sites do not slip into disrepair. In addition, heritage tourism can help to preserve intangible cultural heritage such as traditional skills or crafts. UNWTO increased awareness and appreciation for local culture. Local culture can be lost over time, but tourism offers an opportunity to share it with others in a respectful way. Okay, so because of the heritage tourism, we help the place, we help the attraction to be preserved and to be protected. Kasi, whether we like it or not, class, ang nangyayari kasi, pag hindi naman dinadayo ng isang lugar, kahit gaano pa kaganda yung cultural attraction na yan, no, always what we call disrepair. Meaning, hindi na mag-i-invest si local government na i-preserve pa yung lugar na yun kasi hindi na viable, hindi na economically viable. Ibig sabihin, wala nang chance na makakuha sila or maging advantageous siya sa part ng community or ng city kasi wala nang nadadalang pera, something like that. Although pangit pakinggan, pero that's the reality, class. Because tourism industry is still a business. Okay? So please don't forget that. It's still a business. And kaya importante na yung mga tao still travel for the purpose of heritage tourism because we need to make sure that these attractions are still protected and the government managed to preserve and protect these heritage sites. Okay? Number 7, development, rehabilitation of heritage buildings. For example, many heritage buildings have been left in a state of disrepair or even partially destroyed. Others are unused or underused and ripe for development. There is also a growing interest in rehabilitating non-heritage buildings, whether publicly owned or privately owned, that can be turned into heritage tourism destinations. For example, some successful projects use non-heritage buildings to showcase cultural and historical landmarks from their locations pa. So, totoo naman yung klase, no? Ano ibig sabihin natin development of heritage buildings? It doesn't mean naman kasi daw na kailangan lumang-lumang isang lugar para sabihin mong heritage building siya. Kasi even nga, di ba sabi dito, even non-heritage buildings are being used to showcase cultural and historical landmarks. Such, for example, convention center for showcasing of arts, for showcasing of heritage sites, for example. Kahit mga image lang yan, mga bagay, no? Pwede mo i-exhibit yan. And that alone, kahit non-heritage building siya, nadi-develop siya into a heritage building because it houses different heritage materials or something that would represent the past. Okay? That's one thing. Okay. Moving on to number 8. Active participation in conservation initiatives through funding. Many heritage sites are located in rural or remote areas that offer great potential for sustainable tourism development. So as before we move forward, How do we define sustainable tourism? Diba? When we say sustainable tourism class, we say that it's really understanding the needs of the future generation, that we can use our resources, but we make sure that we don't compromise and sacrifice the needs of the future generation. All right? So that's what you mean by sustainable tourism development. Okay, so this includes direct linkages between cultural and natural sites, as well as promoting job opportunities within communities in a manner that is sensitive to local people's culture and wishes. So pag yung isang destination kasi sobrang dinadayo ng turista, nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating active participation in conservation initiatives through funding. Mas nabibigyan natin ng oportunidad yung mga tao na makapag-participate, no, sa mga aktibidad na pang-conservation, pang-preservation ng historical site, at may fund yun, no? Ibig sabihin, we can subsidize for their salaries, we can entice them to serve more in the community with something that they can, they can use in return. Okay? And number 9, connecting with locals in an intimate way. People who visits a place with an interest in its history often develop a connection to their surroundings, both at home and abroad. There are countless stories that have been passed down generation to generation through rich oral histories, and these insights into a city's past can inform its future. So basically, what it's trying to tell us, guys, is pinsan hindi naman napuputol yung communication natin, no? Yung link natin doon sa mga tao na kilala natin. Sometimes we get to know them deeper by having constant communication with them. Kaya yung word na intimate way. But even if we left the place already, we should have connection with them. We should have communication with them. And that is a connection in an intimate way because that's unusual, no? But it's important that we also have this kind of connection because it helps us, or it keeps them, or we help them realize that, again, their history is valuable, that their identity is significant, and their contribution is substantial to the improvement of the local community. And finally, economic benefits. But I'll try to discuss economic benefits here. Wala. Sige, dito na lang to. Hindi ko pa naisama. Heritage tourism involves experiencing and learning about a particular place and then creating new economic opportunities for locals as a result. Okay, cutting the story short, this is one of the major benefits of heritage tourism, economic benefits. Because again, not all cities and not all municipality class have the same type of tourist attraction. No? Hindi naman class lahat ay merong capability na magkaroon ng natural attractions, ng man-made attractions. So anong ginagawa ng ibang locality? They look for other way to make sure that they still have income, that they can still, that tourism industry will still be a viable economic source for them by identifying or determining what are the different cultural and heritage sites and improving it, preserving it, conserving it, so that it will be beneficial to the community. Okay, and in turn the community will also benefit from it. All right, so that is the economic benefits of heritage tourism. But going further, we have the different major benefits class of heritage travel. Okay, number 1, memorability. Okay, whenever you return from a trip, you are bound to face the question, so what did you do on your trip? Usually people are looking for more than just a general answer, but want an example of something specific experience and why you enjoyed it. Okay, take note of these benefits of heritage travel because I will be asking you to come up with a narrative report, but it's a it will be a different narrative report for those who will be joining the tour, no? Understanding or evaluating and analyzing whether you have gained these benefits of travel. About number 1, memorability. Gaano nyo ba naalala yung trip niyo? Gaano ba ka-memorable, no? What are the aspect or areas in your tour that is memorable for you? Okay? Strengthen local economies. Heritage travel for students abroad. Heritage tourism isn't always pretty, but it always has an important impact. A study conducted by the TIA showed that heritage travelers spend more time and money at their destinations other than types of travelers. Okay? So, importante. Tingnan nyo. There are studies that reveals that heritage tourism or through heritage tourism, nakakadala talaga siya ng pera, no, sa lugar. Dahil nga, among the different types of traveler, heritage traveler are those who are willing to spend much on the destination. Number 3, diversifies the tourism experience. Relaxing at the beach is nice, but think how many more stories there are to tell when there is content and substance involved in a trip. Beyond the traditional ocean and sand vacation, heritage travel allows you to expand your horizons and spread the places people visit beyond a few locations. Diba? Kaya importante, exposure activities. Not only heritage travel, though even the different types of travel or different types of tourism, kinakailangan mo experience nyo siya. You have to diversify your tourism experience. And it's more than the beach. No, 'di ba sabi dito, okay lang naman na ang purpose mo ay beach doon sa lugar na 'yon. But other than that, you can also explore other areas na pwedeng maging interesado ka. Like for example, their cultural attractions, their heritage sites, so that you can expand your horizon and diversify your experience. Number 4, reinforces identity and creates understanding. Heritage tourism provides a whole new angle to traveling and can make an experience both fun and educational. You can learn more about yourself, your ancestors, and people of your race, religion, or culture, while also learning more about cultures and backgrounds different than your own. No, reinforces identity and creates understanding. Alam niyo ba kung ano yung pinakamaganda sa biyahe, sa tour or travel? It's through an exposure activity like the tour, it will help you get a wider perspective about life. Na akala niyo yung mga taong nami-meet niyo sa school, yun na yung iba't ibang klase ng tao. No. When you get out and you get exposed to a tour, you will get to experience different kinds of people. You will get to meet and encounter different kinds of personality in different kinds of culture because these people came from different places, no? So it reinforces your identity and you create an understanding that you need to be, you need to understand that there is a diversity of people, no? There's a diversity of tourists around you. So hindi pwede na masyado kang resistant sa klase ng mga taong ito. And number 5, it increases your learning capacity, especially when done in conjunction with a program abroad. Okay, so basically, ang sasabi lang naman nito, if you will be going out of the country, mas ma-reinforce yung idea ninyo dito. Okay? It's important that there is what we call what do you call this? You don't get contented of what you learn or what you will be learning in the Philippines because as a tourism management student, ang isa sa goal pa natin class ay kinakailangan ang goal ay makaikot ng iba't ibang parte ng mundo para mas naiintindihan natin na yung kultura natin ibang-iba sa kanila. Hindi ka pwedeng masyadong maging maarte dahil hindi mo alam kung anong klaseng tao ang mami-meet mo. No, don't be complacent na yung taong nami-meet nyo ngayon, sila na yung mami-meet ninyo kung, they will be the same kind of people that you will be meeting outside. So basically, in passing, the environmental benefits of cultural and heritage tourism helps encourage a culture of preservation, boosts awareness of the tourist site, attraction or area significance, and helps encourage local residents and visitors to be mindful of their impact on the natural and built environment. Okay, so basically, what we are talking here is because of cultural and heritage tourism, we get to tap the shoulder of the government and tell them that, hey, you need to come up with policies to protect these attractions. And basically, come up also with policies and ordinances that would protect the environment from harm that may be brought by the different tourists that will be visiting the place. Okay, so that ends my discussion for today.